So my story really takes place a year ago and leads up to today. And for soup supper, I made myself some very nice cup of noodle soup. And it took a lot of time, and it's still pretty hot, so it's just gonna sit there until I finished talking to you guys. And so last year, I really didn't know where I wanted to go in life. I didn't really have a plan. And I kind of just wanted to do all sorts of things, but I didn't know what. I had a lot of people around me say, you should go do this, you should go do this because it'll make you more money, you should go do this because it'll help sustain you in life. And that made it hard for me because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I didn't know how that's gonna affect my life. I was also thinking about going to Central Washington in Ellensburg. And while thinking about going there, I was not really scared of going there. Mostly the thing I was more worried about is if I would find a church or if I would find friends. And I had to remember that my plan isn't better than God's, and God has a plan for me. And when COVID hit, it hit hard. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't know what COVID was gonna do to my life and how it would affect what I want to do. And I was in my senior year of high school, and from COVID we lost prom. Well, actually losing prom for me wasn't too bad because I didn't really want to go, but we lost our graduation. We lost kind of that connection with our friends that we would have had for the last year. And COVID made me really think about things different. Also last year I was volunteering for the church, and I was just sitting up in the balcony just messing with the sound during the services. And I loved volunteering at the church. I still love volunteering at the church. And I never would have expected that I would be still doing this for a whole nother year, because I thought I'd be somewhere else. And I never really expected to ever get paid to work at a church. I never would have asked. It never came across my mind that I would ever get paid at a church. And I wasn't expecting that. And the church found a company that would pay me to work for them for about 3 months while Corey was on sabbatical. And it was great because I was getting paid and I was working at a church and I was doing what I loved. And it made me think of how God knew that's what I wanted in my heart, and He helped provided resources to do that. And after my term ended with Rural Resources, the church decided to hire me on and let me still work there, and it's just a blessing to be there, and I love doing what I do. And then I got a job at the store, and because I wanted to find a place where I could talk to people, where I could have community with people in my community. And working there, it's great because I get to see people, I get to talk to them, I get to see you guys. And I love talking about you guys, how you guys are doing or how other people are doing, because that's what I like to do. And thinking about if COVID didn't happen, where would I be today? What would have I been doing? Because in this past year, COVID changed so much in my life that I don't even think I can picture what I would have been doing in another year. And it was through kind of God's plan and His idea of what He wants me to do that He's made me happier than I could ever be. I'm more happy than I think I would have been if I went on to my own journey. And it's great knowing that God loves me and He has a plan for me. And something I really had to remember during COVID was my plan isn't better than God's, and I need to trust God that He has a plan for me. And during all the chaos, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was focusing on what do I want to do. And I was forgetting that God has a plan, and I was forgetting that He has a plan for me, and I need to trust Him in that plan. And thinking about this really reminded me of soup supper, because I'm talking at soup supper, but it was making me think of how soup is made. He may throw in some salt, you may throw in some chicken, you may throw in some noodles and some chicken broth, but it made me think about, what if I just ate the salt? That's really disgusting. And that was making me think of during COVID, the disgusting things, that might have been the salt He was putting into the soup. And then the good things of starting to work at the church, He threw in the chicken. And it really helped me think now while I sit down and eat my cup of noodles, which I like, but like just sitting down and looking at the soup made me think about like God has made this perfect soup for me. He's made the soup where I would enjoy with all the hardships and all the great things. He made great soup out of it all. And it really made me think of like how COVID may be, if you look at it, as really bad soup, but God has turned this soup into an amazing soup for me. And I love it more than anything, and I love God because He's done this for me, because He loves me. And I really don't know where I would be again like in a year if I didn't trust in God and having a plan for me. And that's kind of my story of like really just remembering that God has a plan and that I should focus my eyes up to Him more than like what's going around the world around me. And by doing that, it's helped me a lot, and it's really made me more happier. I get to live at my grandpa's place, and it's great because I'm kind of like off on my own like I would be in college. And I get to live at my grandpa's place because it's provided me a home and a place that I can call home, a safe place. And I just love it, and I love that God has helped me through my struggles during COVID, because I have no idea what I would be at if He wasn't in my life. And that was my talk for Soup Supper, and I'm gonna start eating my nice cup of noodles because, well, I think it's cooled down after the talk. So yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks for hearing my story.